Hi, this is Sam Create the Heart, and I'm so excited to be sharing this month's Not Too Shabby Shop box of the month. It's a baking theme. So the stamp sets, you get 3 are, let's see, that first one is Baker's Gonna Bake. We have Live, Love, Bake, and then we have Bake Me Happy. There's also 2 ephemera collections that go with the paper pads. Happiness is Homemade, has that kind of retro feel. And then you have Cooking with Love, and that one has, some fall type kind of feel to it. So there's like fall colors, and they're both super, super cute. But the cards that we're going to be making today will not be using any ephemera. I stamped, colored, and cut out by hand all of these images that you're going to see today. We're going to be making pocket cards. So I love pocket cards whenever I feel like I don't know what to do. Pocket cards are my go-to. So we're going to be making 3 different styles of pocket cards, and they're going to be really fun. So they're all going to fit in a regular size envelope, and we're going to start off with that one that I'm showing a sample of. You're going to get a piece of cardstock that measures 6 by 5 1/4. You're going to score 1/2 inch on the 6 side, and on the 5 1/4 side you're going to score at 1/2 inch, and then you're going to flip it over and score 1/2 inch on the other side. So you should have 3 score lines. And when you fold it all in together, it'll measure 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 when you fold all your score lines. But yeah, I'm scoring 1/2 inch on both sides, and then that one is 1/2 inch on the 6 inch side. Then you're going to fold everything, and then you're going to cut that square out of the bottom there, and then you have another piece of cardstock that measures 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and then you can either use tape or you can use glue. I'm using glue here to glue down that top that now forms a pocket. And so I've got my little piece of paper that's going to go on top. That one is about 1/8 inch smaller, and I'm using a punch to punch a little half oval there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on there, and then when you cut that paper down, you're left with some strips of scrap, and I'm actually using the reverse side of the scrap as it's not really a belly band per se. I mean, I guess technically it can come off, but really it's just sort of a decoration for my card. And so gives it that belly band look. And then I created a little embellishment using some stamped images, and the cupcake I actually paper piece that using some of the paper, and then I put that all on a scalloped circle and then on foam, and then I've got my piece for the pull out already done. Now we're going to move on to the second version. This is actually the same kind of card, just done differently, and landscape. So you're going to need to use a piece of paper that measures 8 1/2 by 6 1/2. On the 6 1/2 side, you're going to score 1/2 inch on both sides, and on the 8 1/2 inch side, you're going to score at 4 1/4. And so I'm kind of figuring out how what I'm gonna cut out, but I've got to cut out part of that, so I'm kind of mitering it in, and then I'm going to cut one side, actually both sides of score lines there. So we're going to cut that off, and then you're just left with these strips on the side that you're going to fold over, and you're going to go ahead and put glue or tape down to make your pocket. And so here I am going to be putting the paper on there, and I'm going to be using my hole punch, and that'll be that. And so I'm going to go ahead and put glue on those flaps there that I created, and fold that over, and then that just creates your landscape pocket. And so I've got my paper here with the other, using the other paper pad actually. And so I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use the leftover strips that I had from cutting that pattern paper down. I'm just going to use the reverse to kind of create a little bit of decoration on my front of my card. That front seam will be covered by an image, so I'm just kind of folding it over and gluing it down. And I can pull that down, make sure it's on there. And then I did an embellishment, but on a smaller scallop circle with just a bunch of stamped and colored images from the paper pad. I'm sorry, not the paper pad, from the stamp set. And then I've got this little tiny strip of leftover scrap that I'm not going to waste. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the inside so that, you know, you can just see it peeking out. I'm actually going to do the same thing for one of my other cards, but I've got that sentiment. The kitchen is, I think it says open, on foam, and I'm gonna put that on there. I just matted it on some black cardstock, and then I have my card piece pull out all ready to go. So the other card, I forgot I had a little pie that I was going to go ahead and put on there, so you can pull that out that way. And so those cards are done. We're going to move on to our last card, which is a crisscross card. So to make a crisscross card, you need two 4 1/4 by 11 pieces of paper, and I just kind of stack them up on top of each other. And you're going to score at 5 1/2, and then you're going to cut from the corner down to the bottom to the score line, and that's basically what you're going to do. You're going to do it for both, and then you're going to kind of finagle your cardstock so that it creates a crisscross because I never know exactly how to cut it to make it work, but that's what you do. And so you're going to see me kind of finagle it a little bit and kind of just fold the cardstock how I need to create a crisscross. There are other ways to make this. This is the easiest, I think, way. Struggling a little bit with the Nouveau cap, but we're going to glue kind of the larger portions of that cardstock for those pieces together. And you're going to actually see me grab the ones that I did. I had ones already prepared, and I forgot that I was actually going to make 2 crisscross cards, and there's a reason for that. Okay, and then you're going to just put a light layer of glue on the bottom of each of those triangles to kind of glue down. And this is actually where you should be putting down your pattern paper, but I forgot that's what I wanted to do, just in the frenzy of making a video. But that, I mean, you can still do it like you see me do it, but you can put your paper down right here actually, and it'll be easier for you. Paper is going to measure 4 by 5, and you're just going to cut it in a diagonal. But when you cut it on a diagonal, you basically get not 2 of the same. You get one of the top piece that will fit on your triangle, and then you flip it over and it's a different pattern for the other piece. So if you want to get 2 identical pieces, you have to cut 2 5 by 4 pattern pieces of paper, one cut with one side facing up, and then the other one cut with the other side facing up, and then that will actually give you 2 working triangles for your card, and that is why I made 2. When you make this card, you will totally understand what I mean about how they don't work, but yeah, so I ended up making 2, so that's totally fine. I had it all set up to make 2, so it's all good. But you can see that it's much easier to put your pattern paper on there before you glue your little triangle pieces down, but you know, we do what we gotta do. And so now I'm doing the other one, the other card. I'm doing 2 at the same time. So we're gonna be left with a lot of pocket cards. Okay. And put that one into place. And so just like the other cards, I use the scrap for cutting down my paper, and I'm going to be using that scrap to make, you know, I guess a faux belly. I mean, I don't know if it's a faux belly band because I think it might actually work. But to kind of create this look on the bottom of the card, I am actually using just scrap. So I was not left with a ton of scrap for these projects. Very, very little, actually. So these are really great cards if you want no scrap. And then decorating the front with other stamped images. And I used images and sentiments from all 3 stamp sets to make all of these cards. So I'm also using some foam. And now I'm going to work on that second card and working on that sort of belly band for that card, and just use the reverse side. So what's nice about double-sided paper is you got 2 sides to work with, so that makes it a lot, you know, easier, I think. And then I've got all my cute little stamped images, and these come with little faces that you can put on the bowls and the cupcakes and so on. You don't have to, but I kind of went crazy because they look adorable. So just adorable. And just kind of getting that the way I want it. Now for the inside pieces, I basically looked for a scalloped die that would kind of work, that I liked the size of. And so it wouldn't be too big. So the piece that I'm using is a tiny bit, maybe I could probably use a bigger piece. But it works really well because I just kind of wanted a scallop for that inside piece. And so I used a scallop die for that, using the paper from the paper collection. And then I just cut down a piece of white cardstock that fit really well with that. And I stamped my image, and then you can see me placing, you know, I stamped my sentiment. You can see where I placed the kind of matching image. And now those cards are done, and you can see all the different pocket cards that I made today. Really easy and fun, and you don't really need anything special, just a scoring board, a scoring tool, and you're ready to go to make these cards. Really fun, got a lot of wow, interactive, super easy, and a really great way to use small images. And it shows off the paper, so I got nothing but good things to say about pocket cards. So thank you so much, and make sure that you hit the link in my description box to go visit the Not Too Shabby shop and pick up this box. It's adorable.